What's up, everyone? All right, well, red lights behind me, red in the P&L, one step forward, one step back. I'm back to red on the month. Oh, this has been a crazy month, and something that I'm really thinking about right now is, what has kind of led to this just whipsaw that I've seen this month. $47,000 in a couple of green days, and then, giving it all back across a few red days down to red on the month. I mean, this is some really kind of wild stuff. My P&L, or my profit loss ratio this month is going to be awful. It will be terrible. I don't know what my accuracy is at right now because I didn't want to obsess over it, but my accuracy actually might be okay. But it's the profit loss ratio that's bad. It's because I've allowed a few trades to go against me so far that the average losers are going to go down. And isn't that always the case? That it's that one trade that you hold where your stop was 400 and next thing you know you're down 800, 1200, 1600, 2000, 4000, 8000, and you're just like, well, doesn't matter that I'm right 90% of the time when every 10th trade I lose 10 grand. How many of you guys can relate to that? That's kind of where I'm at right now, and this month has been interesting for sure. So in any case, this morning I started with APOP, Tesla. These two were kind of on watch. APOP was actually gapping up here about 37%, and Tesla, large cap stock, gapping up 17%, which is a huge gap for a $300 stock. I wasn't seriously watching it for a trade, but I knew that a lot of traders were going to be focusing on it, and it would be a magnet that would take attention out of the small cap market. And I think that is essentially what happened. A lot of traders were focusing on this today. But if we look at Tesla in the first, let's just say the first 10 minutes of trading, or first 15 minutes of trading, I'm going to take off some of these lines here just to clean up the chart. What you'll see is that the bell rang, and I know Mike was watching this for a short, for a drop below 295. So the bell rings, and this thing squeezes up to $304. So it goes totally crazy, and then it drops all the way down to 294. Comes all the way down to 294. Then it rips back up to 303. Then it drops back down to 289, and then it pops back up to the VWAP. Like, this thing is just whippy all over the place. Very difficult to trade, of course, also with big spreads. And that was Tesla. APOP wasn't much better. APOP, a really nice, clean gap and go setup. I'm watching it long over 410 for a break of the pre-market high. The bell rings, the open price is 371. It dips down for a second and then it surges up. I buy, it squeezes up to 403, boom, I'm out with just about $1,300 of profit. So that was a solid trade. Let's look at this on the 1 minute chart. By the way, I traded this one yesterday, made 4 grand on it. It's second day continuation on a recent reverse split with room on the daily up to 634. So I like everything about it for the most part. All right, so my first trade on it was right here. And then this 1 minute micro pullback I added and sold at 403. I actually, on this one, I took 15,000 shares. I started with 9,000 and then I added 6,000 for the break of 4. I thought it was going to rip right to 410, 420. And so with 15,000 shares to only make, $1,300 is kind of disappointing. It flushes down here to 375. It holds for a second, and then I added around this blue circle here on what ends up being this red doji, because I was expecting the first 5 minute candle to make a new high would give us that rip through 410. I really thought so. Wrong again. Pops up to a high of 397 and flushes down, and just like that I go from up 1,300 to up only about 600. It then drops down, sells off, and as it curls up right here, and as it broke over this, as it broke over the $0.50 of 350, I got in with a target of it tapping the VWAP and maybe breaking through the VWAP. It hits a high of 59. I made back like $400, so it puts me up 970, and that was it on APOP. So hey, 970 bucks. Give yourself a pat on the back. Not bad. You know, that's some good progress. Well, you know, obviously didn't stay. I didn't stay green on the day. The next trade was OPGN. OPGN was a gap down reversal. The stock had a secondary offering. I traded this one yesterday and also made like 2,000 bucks, but secondary offering and the stock tanks overnight. This is why I don't swing trade these stocks. I don't hold them overnight. And it is one of the reasons that some short sellers will hold them overnight because they're hoping for this type of news. And, you know, this is a big win for short sellers. So, you know, of course, here's the drop down to $1.68. And as it started to curl up, I thought maybe we'd get a little bounce just up to 2. I was only going for a base hit on it, but that was a small loss of $100. So that's fine. My next trade was PDSB. PDSB was on the watch list. It's a gapper right here, 367, up 16%, 3.7 million share float, 1.2 million shares of volume as of right now. So the bell rings and all of a sudden it starts to rip up. And so I bought it on the break of 4. I think I got in at about, I don't know what it was, 405 or something like that. It squeezes up to 433. And I was tempted to add. I was like, guys, normally I would be adding here, but I'm gonna give it a second. It dips down right here and I stopped out. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take my profit, $300. So that put me up $1,300 or $1,200 on the day after APOP. So, okay, not bad. Or maybe $1,100, whatever. Green day. Then I take the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, which was right here. And this one, you know, I decided to add on. So I took my 3,000, went to 6, went to 9, it flushes down, and I'm down $2,000 on it. And I'm like, you know, again, like, God dang it. So that was PDSB. So just like that, I went from up 1,000 on the day to down 1,000. That's a trigger. What kind of trigger is it? That is a FOMO trigger right back there. That's where we've got the FOMO chart. You can see right there. And we now have 0 days since FOMO because today was a day where basically I gave into FOMO. So, so I got back into here, got stopped out, frustrated. I then got back in a second time or a third time right here and got nailed again, $2,000. So now I'm down $3,300 on the day. And I suppose this is the point where I go from being calm, cool, and collected once again to, you know, just like, God damn it, really frustrated. And this is a month where, you know, I'm looking at my calendar here and almost every day this month, I've either been up or down more than $2,000. I haven't had small days. This month has been big stuff. You know, yesterday was a nice bounce back up $5,000, and then today, it's gone, just like that. So I'm really kind of going through it here, and I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated, and I shouldn't have traded SLGG. SLGG. I took a trade on it, passed my go-to time of day, and look at this false breakout. I mean, this, you know, this is a valid 5-minute bull flag. There's no question about it. It's a valid setup. I saw some students in the room actually made money on it, either through this area or through this area here because they took profit. Here's the problem. Once you're red on the day, a base hit will never get you back to green. You need to get a good, solid home run to get you back, and I did it yesterday. You know, yesterday I got a good home run on OPGN, a decent home run on APOP, and I went from down $3,000 on the day to up $5,000. And I thought this was going to be the one. And I was wrong. And that's part of trading, you know, admitting when you're wrong and taking those losses, and that's why I'm not still holding it. But it is no doubt disappointing to have that kind of loss. And what's disappointing is to throw, you know, good money after bad. I'm already down on the day. I'm already not having a great day. So, you know, the moment of, you know, kind of mindfulness of, is the market hot today? No. Have I seen other home runs today? No. Have I made money today? No. You know, are other people making money today? Maybe that's not even an important question, but I guess it's, how do you ever really know? You know, people say what they say, you don't really know, so forget that question. But for the first three questions, the answers were no, no, and no. So then, you know, looking at this trade here on SLGG, we've got this pullback. You know, we have this rip up here to a high of 39, which is a big move, no doubt about it. And when you see something like this, when I see something like this, it makes me think that someone is trying to accumulate a position. Is that a hedge fund? Is it an activist investor? Is it an insider who, you know, legally is buying because they want to buy? They can do that at certain windows. You know, is it someone that knows something? I don't know. But, you know, that kind of approach of follow the money is, you know, sort of what I was thinking on this. Okay, someone jumps in here with 30,000 shares. Wow. And then it pops up here, and then it's halted, and then it pops up here, then it pulls back a little bit. This is a nice pullback opportunity. And you can see right through here on this candle right here, 20,000 shares of volume on that breakout. Right here, another 4,000. You know what? You know, that was me. I was the only one looking at it. I mean, no one else was really looking at this stock because today the market wasn't hot. And once again, I'm sitting here in the red, feeling a little frustrated, and looking back on my month and wondering, where would I be this month if I had traded with, you know, 2,000 shares on every single trade I took? I brought down the emotional stakes, and I wasn't swinging for home runs. And sure, there would be some decent wins with 2,000 shares, and there would be some losses, but I am now red on the month again, and this is going to be potentially my second red month of the year. The last time I had 2 red months in 1 year was in 2017. Was it 2017? Now I can't recall. I'll have to go back and look, but I think it was 2000. It might have been 2016. I think in 2016 I was red in May, and then I was red again in September, both by about $5,000. In 2017, I was green. I know I made 117,000 in January, and then no, that's not true. 2017 was the beginning of my small account challenge. 2017, I think I was green all year. To January of 2018, I was 117 grand. February of 2018, I lost about 10,000, was green the rest of the year, and then I was red March of this year. I can't remember exactly by how much. I've got my calendar here, but I don't think I totaled it at the end of the month, at least on the calendar. So in any case, none of this is really all that important. It's just to say that this is fairly significant for me to have potentially 2 red months in a year. It's been a good year. I've made $300,000. No one needs to feel sorry for me. And I shouldn't feel too sorry for myself. Someone commented, and it was a great comment, that Ross, you're not down, you're still up for the year. Sure, you're red today. You were red yesterday or whatever, red 2 days ago, but you're still green on the year. You know, thinking of it in the daily, that red to green, red to green. I've been green since January 1st, basically. Just, it's, you know, the ebb and flow. But I had high goals for 2019. I'm not quite hitting them with a month like this. So adjusting expectations, not having expectations, just trading the market I'm in. And today I, once again, traded a hot market strategy in a cold market. And I got a splash of water on my face. So this is kind of a struggle that I'm having right now. And I'd like to break out of this cycle. And we talked about it in the video I posted the other day about the emotional trader and the $20,000 loss. And I'm still kind of churning in the sort of wake of that big loss and trying to regain my balance and refocus. And it's going to take a couple days. That's the way it is. But one thing that you guys will know about me is that I always get back on the horse. I will be trading tomorrow. And being a successful trader, it's not about how many times you have red days. It's not about how many times you get knocked off the horse. It's about how many times you're willing to get back on. You know, if there comes a day where I take such a big loss that I'm like, you know what, I can't even bear to get back on the horse. Well, I hope that day never comes. And in order to prevent that day from ever coming, I've got to make sure I keep certain risk parameters on my account. And so as I grew my account from $583 up to $1 million, I was consistently taking money out. So I've got $100,000 in this account right now. You know, the remaining 900 grand, I was taking out, consistently taking profit out. So, you know, God forbid I even took a $50,000 loss or a $100,000 loss. It would not, it certainly would not end me. You know, I think one of the worst things a trader can do is just let their account grow indefinitely without pulling money out. And that brings me to the $100 million loss. I don't know how many of you guys watched my video about a trader who lost $100 million. Grew the account from basically next to nothing up to over $100 million during the dot-com bubble, and then let the account come all the way back down. I'll put a link to that video below. It's a Driving with Ross episode in San Francisco, and it's an interesting story, and it's certainly a good reminder to draw profits out, keep your account small. And maybe it is time for me to draw some profits out of this. Shrink the account a little bit. I'll have to think about that. All right, well, that's it for me. And this has been a longer video than I was expecting. So questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel if you like these videos. Thumbs up if you watched till now. I hope you've given me a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. All right, see you guys tomorrow. You want to learn more about trading? Check out some of the links in my description, and if you have questions, ask them in the comments. I personally respond to every question posted on my channel. And don't forget to subscribe.